Hi, Matt Noyce, 1 Degree Outside Weather Network, 1degreeoutside.com, and Noyce's 1 Degree Outside Weather app. Brush fire update for you here on a Tuesday afternoon. A lot of you smelling the smoke, seeing the smoke, a little bit concerned about what's going on here. There are two fires right now that both local fire departments and what we call mutual aid, other towns coming in to help out, are battling. One at the Breakheart Reservation, the other one is in Middleton. There's also been helicopter assistance on these to try and put it out with water from the air, or at least manage where it burns. Now, of course, first and foremost is anything you get from the local fire department. You want to follow whatever they've got to tell you. But I want to give you a meteorological breakdown, show you what's going on here. First thing I'll do is bring in some reports that are coming in online. This is via Twitter, and this is Nelson, who chimes in and says, first time seeing this in 25 years. Nelson, you're not alone. That's the case for a lot of us, I would say. Martin on Twitter, Marty McFlies, Twitter username. You can see this was the view yesterday, Middleton Pond fire from Holt Hill and Andover. Now let's go to today's view, and very different. You can see the smoke hanging low in the sky. We've had a very light wind that's allowed the smoke to stick around. Here's video of that smoke that was shot by Martin. You can see that smoke pretty thick when you get right close to the fire. In fact, so thick that the Salem Public Schools have gone ahead and dismissed Salem High School at 11:30 this morning. They've been relocating some of the ongoing stuff they have planned for the rest of the day over to Witchcraft Heights Elementary. So the smoke thick for many of us. The question, we're going to get to air quality in a second. Question becomes, is nature going to help us out tonight with the showers? Here is our exclusive proprietary data we built here at 1 Degree Outside. I tell you that it's been in beta testing. So 9 p.m., it looks like first showers are right over the fire area. As you go to 10, 11, midnight tonight, and into the pre-dawn hours of tomorrow morning, it does rain. Doesn't look like it's a whole lot of rain. It looks like pretty limited amounts, probably on the order of about 0.2 of an inch. But you know what? We will take whatever we can get in terms of rainfall amounts. The other thing I want to do is swing you back over to the weather graphics and show you a little bit more about what to expect with regard to air quality and what's been going on right now with air quality. So this was the location of the fires. In terms of the air quality, for a little while, a very short time ago, we did hit hazardous up in the legend in the upper part of your screen, that purple. We're starting to come back a little bit because the wind is starting to kick up just a little. For a while, we had winds that were only 5-6 miles per hour, but notice where that smoke is focused in and around not only the fires, but because it's a southeast wind, it's been spreading all the way up along Route 3, Billerica, the Middlesex Turnpike, running up to Lowell and Pelham, New Hampshire, even into parts of southern New Hampshire as well. So here are the takeaways for you. The fires are going to continue to burn. I mean, it's so dry from recent dry weather. We've had dry air, but the light wind that's coming in is out of the southeast. It's coming off the ocean. It's a little bit more humid air, and I guess you could say there's some good news there, but really what we need is rain. So there is, and my concern is this, going to be a stronger gusty breeze overnight tonight. So you're getting the showers, which is great, but the wind is going to kick a bit too, and we're going to talk more about that in a second. In terms of this decreased air quality, look, you want to avoid heavy exertion in a lot of these areas that are into the smoke. In the thicker smoke zones that I showed you along the North Shore, you really want to limit your outdoor time. Indoor air purifiers certainly can help inside the home. If you have those, it's worth turning them on. Monitor local fire department updates. Obviously, they're working and doing a yeoman's effort to keep this thing under control, but at the same time, they know best as to exactly what's going on the ground, and they'll be the ones that will be able to provide some quality updates for you there. Here's what I mean about the light wind that's been blowing. It's only about 7 to 9 miles per hour, but I'll tell you what, that is faster than it was for quite some time. It's just starting to pick up, and the forecast is for the wind to continue to increase. The zoomed-in view of what's going on, you can see how light that wind is just north and west of the fire, and keep in mind it's a southeast breeze, so basically this smoke is gently being carried north and west of both the Breakheart fire and the Middleton fire. It lands in the Merrimack Valley right at the Mass-New Hampshire border and then kind of stalls there because the wind has been so light. Our modeling does a pretty poor job of picking up on smoke, but actually impressively, and I do mean that, impressively, it's picking up on it. So that just goes to show you there's enough smoke that even some of the weather modeling can pick up on that. Notice the expansion of the smoke. It actually gets a little bit thicker in spots as we get to the end of the day in the early evening with a timestamp in the upper left of your screen. And then by the time we get, let's say, to later this evening, it dissipates. And the reason it dissipates is because the wind is going to kick. In fact, during the overnight tonight, watch this, wind gust forecasts out of the southeast start kicking up by 8:30 this evening, someplace like Lawrence, so we'll say right around the Middleton area too, and Saugus, you could probably use Boston as a good guide, but you start gusting over 20 miles an hour at 8:30, then you start gusting up to 30 miles per hour for a while during the overnight. This is 2:15 in the morning into the pre-dawn hours. So on one hand, you've got at least a little bit of rain that's coming in, and every little bit helps, but on the other hand, you're going to be fanning the flames more in the overnight than you were during the course of the day today. I can tell you, it looks like the wind gusts us will die down during the day Wednesday for a little bit, and then probably are going to pick up again as we head into Wednesday night. Again, this is total rainfall amounts that are anticipated over the course of the next 24 hours. It's not a lot. We'll take what we can get. And again, every little bit at least is going to help with that. But nonetheless, we could use more. We're not going to get more. One thing I do want to mention is with our app, what you can do here is you can actually download the app. If you don't have it already, just search Noise, Noyes, our last name. You'll see it pop up. Noise's 1 degree outside weather. You can get it on the App Store or Google Play. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because after you've searched your location, make sure you've turned location on when it asks you. After you search your location, let's say you put in Middleton, all right? You'll go ahead and you'll get that data for Middleton. But what I want you to do then is hit the 3 dots right next to your location and choose pinpoint. From that point, you'll be able to pinch and zoom the map, and you'll be able to put the pin exactly at your house, or if you want to, you could put it exactly at the fire locations and actually be able to follow along with the hour-by-hour wind direction and wind speed forecast, as well as a chance of rain as it updates hourly out to 48 hours. And, of course, you get the 14-day forecast as well. So that's one way you can leverage our app to try and see a little bit more about what's going on. Also, in the interactive radar tab, you can actually plot wind instead. If you play around with the settings in that, you'll see that there is an option to plot wind, and you can actually watch the wind in real time as the new data continues to come in. That's the way things look for now. Stay safe out there, certainly. Again, biggest thing is just take care of those lungs, right? You want to make sure that you're not working too hard out in the smoky conditions, and stay on top of any updates from your local fire department and local authorities. That's how things look for now. We'll keep you posted always at 1degreeoutside.com. On social media, the handle is 1 degree outside, the number 1 degree outside, and of course, on our app. Take care.